Hello, I'm Ramy.
And I'm Beth.
And this is Brother Knows Quest, the podcast where I, your host, introduce my sister to the wonderful world of tabletop role-playing games. Beth, do you know what we're talking about today? You should.
Tome of Beasts 2.
And
3.
we're covering both of those today because we've been in a Midgard thing. These are D&D 5e supplements, mainly for the Midgard setting that Kobold Press created for D&D 5e. But you can put these Tome of Beasts books or the creature codexes into whatever 5e game you want, and it works really well. I've done it a lot. We hardly ever run in Midgard, and these creatures fit in just fine. Beth, I've taken a few screenshots since you have the books over there. I also have the PDF of these, but I have a few screenshots of these, and I'll tell you what page to look on, and you can read a little bit about them. That way you're talking more than I am for a change, and then you can learn a bit about the creatures. Now, I should say, the last 2 episodes, I've put up affiliate links for DriveThruRPG. You can get the PDF there if you want. You can also find these books on Amazon or Kobold's actual website, wherever you want. The affiliate links help us out a little bit. We appreciate using those. These also have affiliate links, but I forgot to mention there's some samples, like free samples on DriveThruRPG if you just want to look through some of these Kobold Press things. Anything I found a free sample for will be there as well, and you could look into them, see if you think it's good for you.
Woohoo. I like free shit.
Yeah, who don't? Look on page 110 of the Tome of Beasts 2 and tell me what you think of that. I'll tell you what's different about it from something else that's similar in the normal D&D game.
It's a fluffy dragon.
Yeah, it's a boreal dragon. They are different from the standard white dragons because they have fur as well as scales, and they breathe fire, which is normally a cone of cold or something like that a normal, cold style dragon would do. This is a fire dragon that lives up north. Read a little bit about it up there if you don't mind.
Which part?
Right under its name, I'd say.
Covered in a mix of hard blue-white scales and patches of silvery blue fur, this dragon radiates a savage belligerence. Its amber eyes gleam with primal fury as it stretches its wings, sending a shower of burning sparks sizzling onto the ground.
Basically a barbarian dragon. It's a rageful dragon.
Forest fires.
Well, in the north, maybe. Maybe not as many forests.
It says that its lair is in the Arctic or subarctic regions, particularly areas warmed by geothermal activity.
Yes. So it's a heat in the mix, all the cold is what it is. It's what is the description here?
It's
paradoxical creatures.
Yeah. Large caves at the edge of volcanic craters or near hot springs, or the abandoned outposts of fire giants.
Yep, there's fire giants. We didn't cover many giants. We covered a few in the last book from Midgard.
They also like taking over the lairs of other dragons.
Yeah, I think that's a dragon thing. A lot of dragons will do that. Ancient boreal dragons, they have adult dragons. They go the same way as the monster manuals will. They'll have young and all the way up to ancient. Another cool thing you can find in these books is a lot of different demon lords or archdevils compared to the ones you get. You don't even get archdevils really in the monster manual. You have to get other supplements for D&D for that. Go to page 91. Now we're going to be jumping all over the place because I didn't get the idea for this, you doing part of it, until after I started taking my own screenshots. So they're not in any actual order.
Why did you want me to do part of it anyway?
You're quicker at reading and you don't make it sound as bad as I do.
Oh, that's pretty in a way.
Yeah.
The colors are pretty.
Good luck with the name. This name is what got me the idea to have you read them.
The wings are pretty.
Yeah,
but it looks like a praying mantis. It's like a butterfly with a praying mantis body.
Yeah, it's Demon Lord Beth. You could do this.
Rhopalocerex?
Yes, I'm guessing.
I guess.
Rhopalocerex. So
correct? I think the C is cis.
It looks like
I don't know about the rest of that.
A red butterfly or an orange butterfly's wings attached to a praying mantis kind of body. It's bipedal.
The colors are very pretty.
And instead of its arms being the praying mantis grabber scythe looking things, it's its legs. It actually has normal kind of hand shaped things, more insectile style, as its hands and arms, but its legs are scythes.
It's got quite a few spikes on its arms, though.
It does have that kind of praying mantis feature. It's a challenge rating
25,000 XP.
Now, read this little blurb here, because I didn't read much about this one. I just thought you might like what it looks like.
This beautiful creature has a humanoid frame covered with tiny, colorful
chitinous
plates. And what is that?
Chitinous. It's its outer skeletal thing.
Okay. And it sports large, rounded red wings with dark markings. Its face is an odd combination of human and insectoid, with heavy brows and large antennae that protrude from its forehead. Menace lurks behind its red, baleful eyes, and the spikes that jut from its shoulders, elbows, and knees speak of danger.
He surrounds himself in beautiful things that are also very dangerous. Deadly plants, colorful yet deadly creatures, things like him.
He's also known as the purveyor of deception and master of moths.
Yeah.
I want to be called the master of moths.
He has a cult. I could see why he would have a cult. The master of moths.
Is the father of dead butterflies,
Oh, no.
moths, and all manner of other giant insects that are both beautiful and deadly.
You'd think the Spider Queen would have something to say about him being a moth or a butterfly and she being a spider.
Oh, he lives in a layer of the abyss that, like him, is beautiful at first sight, with vast vistas of flowers, trees, and cloudless blue sky overhead. But it is equally deadly, with each element dripping with toxins, hiding some deadly surprise or harboring hostile creatures.
He's a deadly one. And he's one of the more fascinating looking demon lords and creatures I've seen in here. But another one that kind of struck my interest was on page 79. As for the demon lord, I could find a use for these. These are, of course, challenge ratings that they are.
Okay, this makes me think of Alice in Wonderland.
These are more for higher level characters, but there's also a lot of lower level things in here. Well, like which one you're looking at?
Dancing foliage.
It's a challenge rating 4.
Do you remember the original Disney Alice in Wonderland movie with the garden of singing and dancing flowers?
You mean the cartoon?
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, obviously Disney wasn't the original, but I mean the movie.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of,
Oh yeah, I forgot about the one with Johnny Depp.
Yeah. So I was making sure I wasn't confused.
Oh yeah, the cartoon.
What does this little blurb say?
A slender humanoid-shaped plant dances in a clearing. Its 2 long legs and 4 arms are decorated with a plethora of vibrant petals and serrated leaves. A white flower blossoms at the top of the whimsical performer.
Yeah, it doesn't have a head. It has a flower. A giant open flower. Also, they are jovial creations. So that tells you a lot about them. They're guardians of the garden. Fair enough. They dance quite a bit, which would be awesome until they come dancing your way because you stepped on a peony. You don't want to get chopped up by one. And it just looks like it's got 4 arms with kind of flowery petal-looking thorns coming out of them. They're colorful thorns, I'll say. 2 legs. And that big flower head. It can do things like doing a luring dance or a serrating dance. You can mistake it for an actual giant flower easily. It's got false appearance. Cool things like that. Things you wouldn't find in normal monster manuals or Wizards of the Coast stuff.
It says, once a dancing foliage has decided to protect an area, it refuses to leave, though terms of pruning and planting can be negotiated with it, especially if such actions make the garden more aesthetically pleasing.
I wonder if it's very careful about how it dances not to step on stuff, or if it would appreciate like a pathway to dance around.
I don't know.
That's a good way to play it. Can it speak? Let's see here. Does it have a language? Druidic and Sylvan, so it can speak. I was wondering about the pack thing. Try page 72. This will be another one of the really low level challenge ratings.
Corrupted pixie. Pretty colors, but she looks like a bitch.
Well, she's corrupted. Read her blurb and it might explain her looks a little bit better than I can.
A wrinkly purple-skinned pixie with small black horns and bat wings flits about chanting a violent song about harvesting organs. Oh, I might actually like her.
She's only a half challenge rating. She has an 8 spellcasting like you would a fae. She's a chaotic evil. Also, I should have said the dancing flower thing was chaotic good. So there's a difference in the way they act. This is a tiny fiend, not a fae. My bad. They're mischief makers, as a pixie would be, but this one I imagine is quite bad. They're corrupted by hags.
Yeah, I was about to say they're corrupted by hags because the hags will capture a pixie and torture them by forcing them to watch the hags commit acts of depraved violence.
Makes sense. Hags can be some nasty things. They can be restored if you capture one and give it pixie dust. It will turn back into a fae, a good little pixie, which I'm sure it would appreciate.
They pretty much end up working for the hag.
Mm-hmm. They have superior invisibility, which makes it even more alarming.
And they think of their creators, the hags, as gods who expose the world's true joys, murder, torture, and other evil acts.
She looks wild. All pixies are a little, that's their thing. Wild, but she is. I thought she was a proper larger creature when I first flipped to the thing and seen her picture. I thought she was like a large fiendish devil, but no, she's just a fiend pixie.
I bet the dancing foliage doesn't much care for them because it says corrupted pixies take a special joy in destroying anything beautiful,
Oh, yeah.
being a work of art, a garden, or the face of a handsome adventurer.
Oh, no. You could see a flower like smashing a pixie in its garden one day because this thing would not stand a chance against one of those.
No.
It'd have to use invisibility and get away and then curse it for its insolence, I'm sure. Try page 68. This is a more...
Why are we going backwards?
I told you I got the idea to do this after I took the photos.
It doesn't look as interesting.
Well, it's a challenge rating 6.
Clockwork Tiger. The machine looking ones just
Yeah,
as interesting.
I
for me.
understand. A lot of people don't like that stuff in their D&D game, but even Wizards put some machines in theirs now.
Yeah. The ticking of metal gears is all that hints at the presence of a pair of feline-shaped metal creatures. They are bronze and steel with sharp metal teeth and razor claws.
They were old creations as guardians. Usually they're found in pairs, which makes it even more challenging. They're constructs. There's not much to say about them. Think of a tiger with gold armor and metal innards. It's alarming if you was to come across a couple of these one day, anywhere you're visiting. Here's one that might come to your attention better. How about page 59?
Oh, it's a puppy dog with wings. It's like a little angel dog.
Yeah.
Chamarosh. This large sheepdog has
I bet. It's Camarosh, like Chimera, I bet.
Chimera.
Like Chimera, like the animals mixed together.
Okay.
Like you heard of a Chimera. It's like a
No.
lion's head, a dragon's head, and a goat's head attached to a dragon.
Oh, is that what they're called?
They're called chimeras, and I bet where he's...
Probably.
I might be wrong. It's spelt, the first part of it's spelt like chimera, is the only reason I say that. But what about it?
Maybe.
Tell.
This large sheepdog has a luxuriant white gold fur, a pair of broad wings stretches out from the creature's back, and its eyes are filled with an intelligent silvery gleam. It actually kind of looks like it's blind. But
It's a celestial, medium celestial, and if you want to fight it, for some reason, it's only a challenge rating 1. But who would want to fight the good boy? He's a natural good dog.
I would keep it.
They're like sheepdog. They're roaming
Companions
defenders.
and guards.
Yeah.
But when they're not employed to be such, they gather in small packs.
Mm-hmm. They rarely travel to the material plane. When they do, it's usually for an important mission. They can travel the planes as celestials.
They also rescue lost or trapped mortals of good or neutral alignment, leading the mortals to a place of safety or to the nearest portal back to the
Material
planes.
Yeah. Oh, they're such good dogs.
Despite their appearance, they can speak and readily do so with mortals they rescue or celestials they serve or protect.
Have you ever seen a Great Pyrenees? Imagine one of giant white wings. Yeah, that's what it looks like, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. An angel doggy,
Yeah,
poodle pup.
Another beautiful creature. Try page 54.
Well, before we do that, on the page before the dog, there's 58. You remember Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is.
I can't see what you're looking at. I only have a picture of the one
It's called
page.
Cat Scratch. Hold on a sec. It looks like
Just tell me about it. Read the
Okay.
blurb, it'll explain it a bit.
the small cat. Oh, it says small. It doesn't look small. The small cat emits a horrific yowl as its body begins to bulge and swell. Within moments, a massive veined humanoid covered in patches of fur stands in the cat's place, casting a mad gaze. That's why it looks bigger than I thought. But instead of a human turning into a cat like in the Scooby-Doo movie, it's apparently a cat turning into a bigger werewolfy looking cat. Hold on, I'll show you the picture.
Yeah, that's awful. They look like they'd be a natural enemy of the dog.
Yeah. Doesn't it look like the guy that turns into it on Scooby?
What was his name? Jerome or Jacques? Or
Jacques,
something?
I
Yeah.
believe.
Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. That's what exactly. Just think of the cat people on Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island, and that's what, if you ever seen that, that's what these guys look like.
I'm pretty sure there's a scene where he's looking back like that too.
Yeah. What's his name? What's this thing's name?
Cat Scratch.
Okay. Well, that's a nice name. Easy. A lot better than the ones we've been trying to pronounce.
No
What-
one is quite sure of its source, but whenever domestic cats are found, these creatures appear.
Huh,
No! We
Yeah.
have cats!
So we have Cat Scratch somewhere. It's going to be the next cat that shows up at random.
It's created when an aberrant virus infects a cat or a cat-like humanoid.
Aberrant.
Aberrant? What is that?
It's unusual, I should
Oh.
say, or
Then why wouldn't you just use the
otherworldly.
word?
Otherworldly.
Why can't you just use simple words? I'm stupid.
Aberration.
Use simple words.
Aberration is a type of creature. Is that what that was classified as?
I don't know. How do you find
It'll be
that?
right under its name.
Huge aberration, chaotic evil.
Yep, that's okay. Aberration. Told you it's a type of creature.
It recharges after a short or long rest.
What does?
the cat scratch. It has 9 lives.
Oh, God.
When the cat scratch would be reduced to 0 HP, it instead drops to 9 HP.
I wonder if it's one of the creatures that they let someone create because they got early on the Kickstarter and paid so much.
Mm.
Or they just have competitions sometimes. It depends on how Cobalt Burst wants to do it. So some of these are backers or whatever who've got lucky to create a creature and put it in the book.
Ew.
What?
The cat scratch vomits poisonous bile in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in the area must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw, taking 10 3d6 poison damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one.
I wonder if someone who really dislikes cats and lives with a cat person made this.
If you fail the saving throw, you contract cat scratch
Cat scratch.
Fugue.
Fugue.
Which it has a little purple box describing what that is. It's a bacterial infection that only affects felids and feline humanoids.
Is it going to turn you into one? Otherwise, why did you get it? You're not a cat person.
Once you are infected or the host is infected, it incubates inside it for 3 days. During this window, the victim's skin itches and they are prone to violent mood swings. At the end of each long rest, the infected creature can repeat the savings throw, recovering from the disease on a success.
You don't see many proper illnesses in D&D, which is nice. They have them in the DMG and stuff, but nobody hardly ever uses them.
After the 3rd day, if the infection is still present, any negative emotion causes the victim to transform into a monstrous cat scratch, intent on destroying everything around it.
It's worse than being a werewolf.
Only a wish spell can cure a cat scratch once it has transformed into this.
You best have like a remove curse thing prepared then if you come up across one of these.
That's pretty interesting.
It is
I can't believe you missed that one.
Like I said, I was going through here and trying to find the coolest looking ones, and I just assumed it was a were creature when I flipped past it, I'm guessing. Most of the time I use these books, I'm on Roll20. I just kind of type in things I remember and know what I'm hunting for the situation, and I don't have to go through the whole list of them like the book has. I buy the physical print, and then I buy a PDF or on Roll20, and some things I'll buy for both PDF and Roll20, just because I like to be able to just search for a type of creature and find what I need. I don't use many were creatures. It takes away player choice sometimes if they are a were creature and don't have a choice. Try page 54 for something a little bit more reasonable.
I hate that. I hate this.
Read it.
It is nasty. It is gross. It is holy. It's eyebally. I don't like it. It's actually lumpy.
It's not necessarily an evil creature, though.
Ew, I don't care. I don't like it. Kill it. But how am I supposed to pronounce it? Batach.
Butatsch. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it either.
Batach. Batach. I don't know. This horrific creature resembles an enormous deflated cow's stomach studded with thousands of glaring eyes awash with flame. It's disgusting.
It's chaotic neutral, not evil.
It's Grant. It's Grant with a bunch of lumpy eyes.
Think of Slither, and that's the movie Slither. Yeah, you get a good idea there if it just had a lot of eyes all over him. It does look like a giant stomach covered in eyes. And I don't know who thought this thing up. It has an immobilizing gaze. It can slam you and ingest you, of course. It has multi-attack, and it can see like every direction. It's a challenge of 14, so it's not easy.
It's easily as big as an elephant.
Good gracious. I didn't see that. Gargantuan is what it says, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's an aberration, of course.
It burns or melts organic material before absorbing it and leaves nothing behind when it has finished eating.
It's not a pretty creature. What does it say about its unsettling morality?
It leaves a path of destruction wherever it goes, but it is driven by a bizarre morality. It has been known to ignore and even protect weak or defenseless targets, such as farmers and cowherds, against other monsters and humanoids, slaughtering the weaker creatures, persecutors, before vanishing back into the lake from which it came.
Makes you wonder if it used to be a cow and has kind of taken up with that kind of... It makes sense if it looks like a cow stomach.
Yeah.
Maybe this is some folklore thing I never heard about. It'd be a great cryptid. A terrifying cryptid. Who thinks the Sasquatch is going to crush them in woods when this thing's slithering about? I think I'll become a cow farmer. Okay, how about page 31, Beth? We're getting to the A's now.
Oh, Astri?
I'd say that, yeah. It's only a challenge rating
It's
8, which is not... It's a lot
adorable.
stronger than it looks of a challenge rating of 8.
Human hands sit at the ends of the raccoon-headed creature's 4 short legs. It flicks its banded tail as it turns toward cries for help, setting its vivid blue eyes on those in need of pretty little raccoon creature.
Yep. It's a small celestial also. A chaotic good. It's a good Samaritan. They chill in the Badlands and deserts in the material plane, seeking opportunities to assist lost and dying travelers. They're bringers of hope, and they're enemies of greed, which you don't think about when you think of raccoon creatures. you assume they want the shiny thing.
Yeah.
They can
Or the trash.
They have the action defense counter as a reaction. They can help a creature within 5 feet of them makes an attack against a creature other than the Astari. The Astari can bite the attacker to protect someone as a reaction. They're like little fighters. They have a lot of magic resistances, and of course they can speak because they can speak common and through telepathy for 120 feet. They're adorable.
I need one.
Yeah, they are. Think of a little orange raccoon, kind of foxy almost, right?
Yeah, it's...
Or maybe raccoons are different in some places. I'm not sure.
Isn't there like a red raccoon or something?
Well, there's one right in front of you with human hands.
No, I mean in like a real... Hold on. I think there is. Oh, those are red pandas.
Yep, I thought about that. I think this is another one of those myths from human society.
It's a bird. A colorful bird.
It's a large monstrosity. It's neutral, though. Anzu, A-N-Z-U.
A giant raptor roars out of its fury in spouts of fire and scalding water while lightning crackles through its feathers.
It speaks primordial and common.
Wonder if it was at Yellowstone recently.
It did. Yeah, there was an explosion that way, wasn't there? They're territorial, which makes sense for something that looks like this. Think of I don't know what to call it. Think of a giant raptor, but not with the bald head. More like a hawk.
I was going to say, it looks more like a giant hawk to me.
It's red. Its wings are crackling with, its wing tips are blue, and it has massive talons, and they are crackling with lightning. The wings are. I didn't even notice the water part. They have elemental birthright. That explains the primordial in them. Are downright terrifying. The challenge rating, what did I say that was? 9. I wouldn't want to fight one of those. Anything in the sky is dangerous for most D&D players.
It kind of looks like
a Thunderbird.
They tried to make it the color I'm talking about, that chroma flare.
Yeah, that's
what it says when I looked up what the color is. It kind of turns from a purple to a blue. Actually, my nails are that color.
Oh, but I think of you most of the time when I see this one on 22.
This is going to be bad.
No, it's kind of cute.
A big fat toad.
Read it.
Toad King. I'm not even a girl. The human-sized toad has an enormous head and expressive onyx eyes. His broad smile, when am I ever smiling?
You are right now.
Accentuated by wrinkles and warts.
It's a toad, Beth.
Complements his regal bearing and attire.
Look at its second description down there.
Fairy tale nobility?
There you go. You always like Disney princesses.
It's a boy.
Toad Queen.
Comporting himself with dignity, the Toad King enjoys pretending to be a prince or a king, cursed to take a toad's form. He spins a grand tale about witches or fae, enchanters, and convinces listeners to undertake elaborate quests to break the curse. He is generous with his castings of heroism to aid those who agree to his bidding, but he often insists on casting geese.
Geas. It will make people do things, it tells it.
Oh, to ensure compliance. The Toad King hints at rewards, but tries not to promise anything specific. If he does guarantee a reward, he is obligated to make good on his promise if his pawns succeed.
He's a medium fae shape changer. Neutral alignment, so he's not necessarily evil, but he can hurt you when you fail him, I'm sure. What is his challenge rating? It's on the right-hand side. I cut it off on my screenshot.
10. 5,900 XP.
Okay, yeah, you don't want to fight this guy as a low level character at all. He is quite dangerous. But he does. He's a big green toad with a part of his head has formed into a crown.
If he dies, the Toad King's soul reforms on the astral plane. In 1d6 days, it inhabits the body of another frog or toad on the material plane, which then becomes the Toad King with all of the HP and abilities thereof. Only killing every frog and toad on the material plane will prevent this trait from functioning.
That seems unlikely unless you cast the wish spell to kill all frogs. And then imagine the bug problem you would have. So just live with the Toad King. He seems kind of benign. He could have a lot of fun with this as a DM. And they wouldn't even know. So with his level and the shape
He's a shape changer.
Yeah, he's a shape changer. Most Fae are, to be honest. A lot of Fae. They also have resistance to being charmed and stuff. So understanding their thoughts would be difficult. so you couldn't really detect their thoughts as easily.
He can jump up to 20 feet.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a toad. That's part of it. Regal-looking toad as he is, even though he really isn't as important as he thinks. Try page 14. We're about done with this book. Then I want you to tell me how many pages are actually in it, because I'm not sure.
A pretty colorful fishy. It looks like a big piranha / beta.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's called the alpha fish.
A fish as large as a rowboat. Betas, from what I've heard anyway, I've never had one or really done anything with them except for see them in those little tiny cups at the store.
You know the ones...
But apparently they're supposed to be vicious.
Yeah, they against other beta males, I think. But the ones that glow and black light and all that, they have genetic defect from their breeding that makes them do that. The fact they wanted them to do that, so they bred them in such a way and changed them to make them glow. Most of them are like blind, or they go blind. They suffer a serious blindness problem. Now, I haven't seen as many of them in shops now, which makes me happy.
Haven't really either.
Yeah. Okay, and away from the whole animal cruelty thing.
A fish as large as a rowboat serenely floats beneath the surface of the water, its flowing fins and iridescent scales shimmering in the waves. When disturbed, it attacks with a ferocity unexpected of such a delicate-looking creature. That does not look delicate.
Well, if its mouth was shut, you would assume so.
Oh, well.
I saw its intelligence is 1, and it can't speak. You'd have to have a speak of animals or really good animal handling to convince this thing not to just
It's extremely territorial.
That is a beta. Or the alpha
They're
fish.
always found
I get it now. Alpha and beta.
Yeah.
Their scales are valuable.
The only time they have anything to do with each other is during mating season.
Yeah. What is on the right-hand side of that page? I see part of its name.
Amikook.
What does that say?
Or Amikuk.
Oh. This fish is only a challenge rating 3, by the way, and it does normal animal fishy things. They're too aggressive, and they can headbutt and fin flare. Yeah.
It looks like a blob of fat with teeth.
Ah, okay. I can't see anything about it besides its name. That's all I'm saying.
Its crimson slime covers this ungainly creature. Its tiny black eyes sit in an abnormally large head, and dozens of sharp teeth fill its small mouth. Its limbs end in large grasping claws that look strong enough to crush the life out of a bear.
Huh.
A bear.
A bear. Yeah. What is its challenge rating? And does it speak?
7, 2,900 XP.
Okay.
Languages, understands common but cannot speak.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I see that it's a huge aberration. Tell me how many pages are in this whole book, by the way.
I'm not going to count the appendix.
I don't blame you.
386. But on 386, there's this beautiful tiger with these colorful feathers.
Ah. What does it say about the tiger if you're so interested?
Zuyu, the elephant-sized feline.
Oh, gosh.
has sleek fur, 4 upward-turned fangs in its mouth, and a long tail ending in multiple strands like a pheasant.
Is it good?
I would think peacock.
I mean, what is it? Is it a celestial,
it's
fae, or aberration?
I don't know. Where do you find that?
Right under its little name. The small stat block.
Huge monstrosity.
Okay.
Chaotic good.
Okay, well, that's good. If it's good, it's what matters. Does it say, what do they like to do?
They live in mated pairs with large territories. They're gentle and social.
For an elephant-sized cat.
They are symbols of good luck and fortune. The tail feather of Zuyu, freely given, can be rendered into a liquid which produces a luck potion. The potion brings minor good fortunes, such as finding a fruit tree when hungry or shelter when it rains to the drinker for a day. If a tail feather is taken without his knowledge, the potion created by the feather bestows bad luck on the drinker for a day, such as bad luck manifests as the drinker tipping over a too perfectly placed rock or a lightning strike felling a tree onto the drinker's path.
Oh, not terrible luck, just bad luck. Mm-hmm. Imagine what it would do if you killed its mate, though.
It's the size of an elephant.
Oh, gosh. That is the best part of that, honestly. And the fact it's good. You don't normally see monstrosities that are good. Try page 286 while you're back there.
286?
I think this will be one you're interested in.
In the same book?
It kind of feels like a horrific history and hauntings.
I found a donut. Well, I mean, it's a blob, but it's got a hole in its stomach.
Yeah.
The woe siphon.
Yeah, I had that one here, too.
It says, this flabby creature squints with beady eyes, licks its lips, and places a bone-white hand to the gaping hole punched through its chest.
You can see straight through it. It looks like a blob of fat with arms and legs and a rounded head. You don't have a neck. And a hole right through it, like a donut. Why does it do that? It has a miserable visage. Of course, I just said that. It's a level challenge rating 3 Fey. Huh. I didn't expect
Yeah.
Fey. I expected...
It says medium Fey, but I don't believe it's a medium. It's kind of pudgy.
Well, it could be medium and still be Meyer your height, and just be wider. And it certainly is that. What does it do? It speaks, at least, Common and Sylvan.
They feed on negative emotions
Of
to
course.
sustain themselves. Many migrate to places where sentient creatures suffer in vast numbers or where historical sufferings took place, such as mass graves or ancient battlefields.
Sentient creatures.
Okay. Particularly deadly or dangerous underground locales are common hunting grounds for the hungry woe siphon. Once inside such a place, a woe inflicts suffering on anyone who crosses its path. A favorite tactic involves invisibly stalking adventuring parties to torment their victims for as long as possible before attacking outright.
It's weird they even want to bother killing you or attacking. I guess that last murder woe is what they're after.
Well, it's kind of an asshole, but what page did you say?
286. This feels like a horrific history and hauntings thing, something from our other podcast.
Oh, I bet she is. Orphan of the Black.
She's a small fae. Neutral evil.
Appearing to be an unkempt human child between the ages of 6 and 10, this creature has bare feet and long, ragged, dirty nails. The matted mop of hair upon the creature's head has the odd blade of grass stuck in it. Its face is gaunt, with black, expressionless eyes, and its mouth is twisted into a sneer. So it's a black-eyed child.
Yeah, like the ones we talked about in the other podcast.
Yeah.
They're neglectful beings.
The poor souls were mistreated by their guardians or people in positions of authority. Though their sadness and neglect, they inadvertently opened doorways to the shadow realm, and eager for an escape from their lives, they stepped through the doorways. Over time, the atmosphere of the shadow realm corrupted and twisted these children into feral creatures. They don't carry weapons or belongings except a single tattered blanket or broken toy.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, challenge rating 2. And
They
neutral.
have problems with authority.
Of course they do. The only authority they had was mean to them. They can incite violence on folk.
They'll sympathize with a creature that feels belittled or neglected, and they might forego attacking the creature to attempt to coerce the creature into becoming an orphan of black as well.
Mm-hmm. They can sense lawful creatures around them because they are neutral and not chaotically lawful or anything. They'll go after other creatures that contradict that. They can multi-attack, can make 2 melee attacks, and then, if you want to incite violence on your own, you can do that.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a cool thing to talk about. But now we're going to go to the other book, which is, there's a lot of other cool creatures in here. I have a whole bunch more screenshots, but I realize we'll be short on time if we don't move along.
Toma Beast 3.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the Snow Terror. There's a snowman monster in the book we just finished.
Oh, just watch the Snowman movie. The horror one, not the one where the dad dies.
Okay. We'll start with page 17.
Illuminite?
Yep.
Oh, no, there's no N. Illumite. That's a turnip.
That's a turnip.
That's a turnip person.
It's a person with turnip-looking flesh and a turnip as a head.
The widely rotund purple skin. That is not purple. That's red.
Turnips can be purple, I think.
Onion. Oh, it's an onion.
Oh.
Person it waddles forward, looking as sturdy as a dwarf. The walking vegetable grins capriciously.
That's the word. Yep.
Tests the swing of its tuberous club and shoulders into the fray.
They are chaotic neutral.
Mm.
They're a medium-sized plant. They're rapscallions. It's only a challenge rating 2. They have overpowering strength. No, stench.
Yeah.
They have overpowering stench. Each creature, other than the Illuminite or garlic or garlical, within 5 feet, must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be blinded because of the onions crying thing. They have their natural defenses like that, or they can hit you with their gnarly club, and they can threaten you, like taunt you.
Mm-hmm.
They're cool. I like things like this in their books. Now, they also have biblical style angels, like the actual things that were described in some texts. Try page 24.
Yeah, that looks like a hand version of an angel.
Yeah. Read what, see if you can explain it better than I can with the description. I would try to explain it as a disco ball made of gold with hands coming out of every mirror surface.
It kind of looks like a bunch of sided die, except for it's
like
got,
100-sided die.
Yeah, except for it's got symbols on some parts on some sides, and it's got hands all around it.
Every large flat surface on this thing has hands, and they're not normal hands. They're like regular human hands, and there's dragonborn hands and there's all kinds of different hands.
A raging sphere of golden flame roils above the battlefield, dozens of giant arms reaching out from it. The arms shift their appearance from moment to moment, representing humanoids and giants of all species. Motes of golden flame orbit the Archangel's central mass, speeding along their trajectories, while it's motionless and showing down as it moves about the battlefield.
Can you pronounce its name at all? It's an Archangel.
Ilarigil?
I think so.
I guess. I don't know. There's an apostrophe between Ilari and Gil.
They have a layer, but they also have the Fire of Hope.
Ilariel. No, it has the pronunciation right here.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, R is in capital letters, so Ilariel.
Like a pirate. Their challenge rating 23. No small party going to take this thing on.
You just go in a circle and smack the shit out of you?
They are archangels. They spew fire out of those hands, apparently. What does it say about the Fire of Hope feature they have there?
Though primarily viewed as a celestial of battles and warfare, Elijah...
the Archangel.
That one. Here's the pleas and prayers of all mortals who are under siege. They are as likely to assist in ending the unjust blockade of a busy harbor as they are to help a single mortal trying to protect her home from invaders. Unlike some celestial paragons, it is not reluctant to take an active hand in mortal affairs and smites the enemies of those they are protecting.
You're fighting an ancient dragon, and then this disco ball of fiery hope shows up over you and starts smiting dragons. It's a perfect. It'd be a great, weird, I don't know how it would work out, patron to a celestial warlock, or perhaps you're an, what is the word I'm hunting for? Or sorcerer, or you are a Aasimar who is a person who's got celestial in their blood, and it could be because, this thing saved your mother while she was pregnant with you and trying to save herself and you from somebody, and that influence caused you to be born into a bit of divinity. They can fly, of course. They can make 3 radiant fists or radiant blast attacks, so they can shoot or slap 3 times. Or they can give you blessings. What does it say about adverse terrain about their layer up here on the top right of the description?
The ground cracks and crumbles in a 30-foot radius centered on a point it can see within 120 feet of them. The area is difficult terrain for hostile creatures and lasts until it uses their lair action again or until the Archangel is dead.
Its attacks do 5d6 plus 8 bludgeoning damage. And if you do the blast instead of the fists, I would call it slap because none of their hands are making fists. They're all open.
Max. I'd like to have one of those on my side in real life. I got a few people I would like to smack at many times.
It's got a 150-foot range on its spell. It says on a hit, it makes 28 damage, or 5d8 radiant damage, plus 4d6 fire damage. It can turn the tide of a special ability or rouse their action, and it has the spell casting. It can revive things with a legendary action. It's an angel. It's a cool looking thing. And it says right here, it gives you a description how to make them into a divine patron for someone, which is a nice thing. Now, to something a little bit more fun and less weird, it makes me think of Beauty and the Beast. Go to page 34 and 35. We did a terrible job of describing that one. I apologize. It's just hard to explain a disco ball of hands.
This reminds me of the Haunted Mansion.
It does, yeah.
Animated instruments. Mm-hmm. The piano began to play a tune on its own, and the tavern patrons turned to look. The piano then floated upward, clipping a startled waiter, and everyone in the tavern turned to flee.
I would say so. They have different types of these constructs. So they have animated instrument, then you have animated quartet. And what's on the page after that? Because I don't have that one.
Animated symphony.
Oh gosh, I'd hate to have to fight that one.
Yeah, it looks...
What's a challenge rating?
15.
Okay, that wouldn't be easy. Like, what do you say? 2 of those could take on an archangel. You could have 2 symphonies fighting off an archangel. Yeah, it's just musical instruments that have been animated. And they have instrument of varying sizes, small, medium, large, so you can work with that, whatever you want to do. Read what it says about Mighty Symphonies, right underneath the animated instruments name itself on the right side of that page.
Truly magnificent works of art and sorcery, animated symphonies are massive swarms of animated instruments. The magic required to uplift entire symphonies is both mighty and rare. In all cases, animated symphonies develop hive mind egos that are twisted caricatures of the composers who wrote for the instruments or that are rooted in the style of music their individual components played before their transmutation. The personalities of these symphonies are as varied as the music of the world.
This is a great creature construct thing. They have a layer action because, of course, you wouldn't have a band without a stage. So, you go to a hall of some sort and then everything inside attacks you. They have layer actions like backup music, horn blast, timekeeper. Read up what backup music would do.
The symphony calls for backup instruments to assist the performance, summoning 2d4 animated instruments or one animated quartet in unoccupied spaces. It can see within 120 feet of it. The creatures act immediately and on initiative count 20 each round. The creatures act as allies of the symphony and remain for 1 hour until the symphony dies or until the symphony uses their lair action again.
Okay. And remember how we talked about dragons can change the area around them because they're so powerful and neat? These things have regional effects too. I don't know why I like these so much. Well, mainly because I've been thinking about running a game with a fae queen who loves symphonies and stuff and had music playing it every time someone visited.
There it is.
This would be great.
The region containing the animated symphony's lair is warped by its presence, which creates one or more of the following effects. Life-giving music, periodically an inanimate object within 1 mile of the symphony's lair temporarily comes to life to sing and dance and realize the dreams it could never achieve while it was inanimate, and then pervasive stings within 5 miles of the symphony's lair. Situation-appropriate music, audibly, though not loudly, punctuates decisive actions.
So every time, you're having the town nearby or the cursed concert hall down the street or something, and people are complaining because every time someone's having a fight with their spouse, like dramatic music is playing, or someone's asking someone out, you hear the sweet love music playing in the background. It's just the bar brawl breaks out and you hear exciting stuff happening. And if you can hear it over the brawl, there's just a lot of fun things you could do with an animated symphony. I keep saying sympathy. Okay, onwards because we're running out of time. Go to page 46. I can't recommend these books enough. I know they're not very exciting because they're
It's a possum with a boot.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It looks like a pretty mad possum, though.
It's a beast, medium beast, unaligned, so it isn't really a fae or anything.
My pet possums were medium-sized, too.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't speak because its intelligence is 4, but you can cast speak to animal, I suppose.
Astral marsupial?
Like marsupial?
Yeah. An oversized possum with thick, patchy fur hangs upside down from its tail in a nearby tree, which they actually don't do, by the way. Its fleshy hands have 5 digits, including an opposable.
Those apostles.
Opposable thumb in place of sharp teeth. A mouthful of flat molars results in an unnervingly charming grin.
Yeah, it looks like a little rogue, doesn't it? It's like going to rob me. I'm pretty sure it did just rob someone.
Yeah, with its pouch, it looks like.
They have unknown origins, and they are tree huggers. That's what it says. They do have astral pouch. Their pouch does special things, like ball bearings. You can pull ball bearings out and trip you up with them. Cooking utilities, tangled threads. It could have an astral mirror, smelly trash, or magic beans. Yeah. It's just like a little. I don't know how it's not a fae, to be honest with you.
It says that it collects odds and ends in its pouch and defends itself by throwing these objects at attackers. So you're getting smelly trash thrown at you.
The raccoons are getting into the trash again. Can you adventurers do something about it? And you show up and it starts pelting things at you. And like
it's a possum, though, not a raccoon.
Yeah, but people won't know that outside. They just know their trash getting torn into. Okay, that was exciting. Try page 51. This is unusual.
A dwarf version of Dumbledore in a bathtub?
I thought of the same thing. What's it called?
Phonic?
Okay. It's an elf. Sylvan.
A curious old man appears through the steam, fanning himself while splashing his large feet in a wash tub.
It does just show up.
Sounds
The only reason
dangerous.
we're not seeing nudity here is because his beard is so long. But he does have a wand, and you can only tell he's not a human by his large head.
Elderly keepers of bathhouses,
Okay.
capable of seeing fates and commanding water. Their tempers are mercurial, Mercurial?
I have no idea what that means. I thought you might have meant Marshall, but I don't know that word.
I don't know.
I'll have to learn. It can swim as fast as it can walk. Can you imagine this thing swimming at you at 30 foot? Worse than Jaws.
If it's driven from its home, it is grouchy. Yeah, same.
Uh-huh.
Provocable creatures desperate to return to its steamy domain.
I just thought that was a cool one to point out. I'm pretty sure this is a real creature, not a real mythical creature from our world that people have turned into that. I might be wrong. Try page 72.
Oh.
It's basically a D&D meme character.
Cappy bear?
Yeah, like a capybara, but a capybara.
Yeah.
I think it's a mix of like a badger and a capybara.
Uh-huh.
Because it has the white lines like
Yeah.
badger would have. But it also has a necklace and bracelets,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's walking on all fours.
Yep. Mud splotches, this rotund quadrupedal,
Quadruped.
I don't know, rodents, reddish-brown fur. The pigmented markings and the gleam of curiosity in its eye denote the creature's intellect as greater than an ordinary animal's. A loamy odor wafts from the creature.
They're highly social creatures, and they're useful neighbors somehow. I can't really read the rest because my screenshot was so bad. They're sapient grazers. That's cute. Oh, they drive away other creatures that come close to their abodes. What is the one about on the right? Is it a capybara or caretaker?
Caretaker weevil? That is nothing like that bear. That's a bug.
Oh.
That's a ugly bug.
Okay. What does it say about it before we move on? Because I have another one to read here.
The odd giant insect plods along a massive tree. Balf? What's a balf?
Part of a tree?
Which dips from its weight. The creature's incredibly long, thin neck has a swivel point in the middle of its length, allowing greater range for its head as it munches the branches more distant leaves.
Okay, well, that sounds bad to come across. It seems harmless, though, just large.
It's only a one challenge.
Okay, that makes sense. Scarier looking than it is. Now, try page 76. This is more fun.
A hairless cat.
What's it called?
Catterball. Oh. We need to get a hairless cat and name it Catterball.
It's a small, chaotic neutral fae.
The hairless cat moves its front legs forward, stretching its body impossibly long, then retracts its body, allowing its hind legs to catch up in its lopsided gait. The feline wears a constant toothy grin, which would probably be creepy, but okay. It's a fae pet. They enjoy rotten fish and curdled milk.
Ew. They speak Sylvan, so fae, of course, like you said. Tells you how they have one as a familiar.
Fresh food and drink offend a catterball, which redoubles its pranks against the offender.
Oh, no. Its intellect is 5. Like out of a child, I guess. Its charisma's 15. It could outtalk most fighting character builds in D&D. It has damage vulnerability to acid, but it's immune to bludgeoning and poisoning, so you can never beat this cat up.
That's called animal abuse.
I would never hurt a catterball.
It says it's not actually a cat, though.
No, it's a little fae creature.
But they still go after rats.
It's a purple-eyed, hairless cat. It's great. A 140. We're getting into some more dangerous creatures, I believe.
A pretty crystal-looking dragon?
They're prismatic dragon.
With a multicolored hide and wings with multifaceted panes, this dragon stands over an array of chaotic crystals. Light gleams off the dragon's hide and pours through its wings in a dizzying display. Its flightlessness. They possess wings, but they can't sustain flight.
Yeah, I think they're more for, they're like stained glass wings, pretty much. They have no need to fly. They have razor-sharp claws, and they're great climbers. They live in crystal groves. They're gracious hosts. A lot of dragons are, so it tells you right there it's probably a neutral or a good creature. And it has different types of the dragon. They are very beautiful. This is like a purple gem dragon, but with wings that look like a stained glass array. I don't know how else to explain it. If I was going to chill with a dragon, this would be the one. Mm-hmm. And it can't fly, so I feel safer. There's ancient ones, and okay, they have all of them in there if you're wanting the young ones or whatever. Take a young one as a babe and then raise it for your own. Have a prismatic dragon, then you'll learn it can't fly and you're disappointed. Try page 172.
Oh, it's a little hedgehog with armor.
Yeah.
Arena Tussler. Sharp spines cover the back, shoulders, and arms of this hedgehog humanoid. Leather armor protects its underbelly as it adopts a fighting stance.
They fight dirty, and they have flying spines. Why wouldn't they? They are a hedgehog. They shoot them out of their arm, not their back so much. They're expert wrestlers. That's nice to know. They have a challenge rating of 3. They speak, obviously, they speak Sylvan. They're small, natural humanoids. I would like this as a playable race. I'd like to be able to play as this thing. It's adorable. I don't know what else to say about it, though. They have a little description, but she explained it as well as possible. Here's something that seems familiar to me. Try 189.
A mushroom?
189?
Oh, that's 190. Frostjack.
Yeah.
I guess we can figure out what that is.
Yeah, he's a medium fae. Neutral evil, though.
This spiteful fae is lithe and tall with icy blue skin and icicle hair. As it passes by a window, frosty fern-like patterns stretch across the glass.
They're icy tricksters.
Wicked servants of the Snow Queen.
I like the Snow Queen.
Which was, I think I mentioned that in the first one,
Yeah,
in that last episode.
It says, see Tome of Beasts, so it was in their last episode.
They're sent by her to cause mayhem.
Yep, they're a challenge rating 10. They have an Ice Blade, Winter's Touch, Icicle Barriers, and they get multi-attack with their Ice Blade. They are dangerous.
They often travel in packs.
That is even more dangerous.
Oh no, with a pack of winter wolves.
Oh, I was going to say, 'cause I don't know how you could have that.
Sending the wolves into the settlement first to sow panic.
So imagine you're in a winter-stricken village, and everybody's huddled inside at night. You hear wolves coming, and you take on the wolves, beat them, and then this thing shows up to finish the job.
This thing is sneaking inside the house as they're doing that in search of valuables as tribute for their queen and frees the fingers and toes of the house's inhabitants.
Okay, frostbite for everyone.
You get frostbite. You get frostbite.
And I get this ring.
Frostbite for everyone.
Oh, I like Frostjack.
Trick occupants into revealing hidden family heirlooms. Those who fail to cooperate are frozen or fed to the wolves.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Jack Frost, you'd imagine. Try page 197, though. This might be something that bothers you a little. I don't like it.
A giant flea.
Yeah, it's just a giant flea. I don't know why I need to explain it, but that's what it is.
It's a large insect, has a narrow body covered in shiny brown carapace?
Carapace.
Its long, multi-jointed legs sport numerous spines and clawed feet.
They're small, but,
I
even...
wonder how high this thing can jump. Standing leap. The swarm's long swarm.
They have over on the left is another one. You can have a swarm of them if you...
Is up to 30 feet, and its high jump is up to 15 feet.
Yeah, they're still small creatures because a flea is normally tiny, but you can have a swarm of tiny fleas as well. That's just, a nice add-on at the size of a house cat. Try page 211.
Goblin siege engine?
Yep.
6 segmented insect-like limbs support a body resembling a squat wooden tower surrounded by a steel parapet. Goblinoid riders within the armored turret take aim with their crossbows as the spidery metallic construct expertly navigates the crowded battlefields. The awful sound of the device's mechanical stride is almost as disconcerting as the unhinged taunts from its riders.
Yeah, there's a bunch of goblins hanging off this tower with all these legs, and they're ready to rumble, as the description says here. They're a walking bunker that's hodgepodge together pieces of metal. Challenge rating of 11, being a construct, they're immune to a lot of things. Adaptable locomotion, they can move through difficult terrain. They have slam attack, acid jets. It can make 3 slam attacks if it wants to. It's just a nice thing, something you wouldn't imagine coming to your average D&D fight, mobile siege engine run by goblins who shout. It's like a very Mad Max scene. These goblins are wearing like weird leather. And
I was thinking of the labyrinth.
Yeah, that too. But we'll move on to page 214. I think you'll like this one.
Golem Barnyard. That is a partially plucked zombie chicken?
I'm guessing it's...
That's what it looks like.
It's a golem made from hodgepodge animal parts, mostly chicken and turkey.
There's a corpse of a chicken in the field over there, and kind of looks like that, minus the walking part.
It doesn't do that, yeah.
If it does, I'm staying inside, locking my doors. The flesh of a dozen birds has been sewn together into an unsightly amalgam bird with several sections plucked of feathers.
Oh, I see that now. Where I can zoom in on it, you can see they're stitched together like it's a vulture's head and torso with its neck. But then you got like a different bird. Oh, and it's vulture's arm because it ain't sewn together. But the other arm is sewn on, and so is its 2 legs. It's a whole lower half. I think the lower half's a turkey, and the legs belong to hawk or something. It is a construct.
Poor turkenuzzard.
Yeah, they're harbingers of starvation. Poor man's flesh golem, which can be huge, but this is only medium. Still, you don't want this thing running at you. It's terrifying. They get multi-attack, 1 bite attack, and 1 wing slap. Imagine getting slapped by this thing. Page 234.
It's a hippo?
It's just a fun-looking
A
hippo.
sacred hippo? It doesn't really have a description.
Is it
but-
on the other page? On the back page of that one?
No, that's what looks like a leech.
Not the stalker, but on the, 233.
The boulder-sized creature waddles out of the water and strolls down the riverbank. Suddenly, it rushes forward, swift as a horse, despite its massive bulk. Its jaws swing open, revealing curved tusks and bone-crushing molars.
Now, it is not a normal hippo in appearance. It is a hippo with a gold, very large necklace, gold filigree all over its body, and gold bracelets. And in the picture, it shows a hippo, if it's, how hippos open their mouth very wide. And there's a man's torso, just his arm and his torso, hanging out of it. Its alignment goes by whatever deity it, as a celestial, kind of works for. I just thought it was a cool idea, but we don't have to really get into it. Counter rating is 5. They have magic resistance, and it's a sacred guardian. They can hold their breath very long, as hippos do. Try page, just for the fun of it, 353, and then we'll be done.
Oh, it's a pretty stained glass moth.
I can't read any of it because my screenshot was so bad.
The afternoon's warmth cascades through the church windows to light up the narthex with brilliant hues of red, blue, and purple from the ornamental windows. Several of the beams of vibrant light flicker, and then shift entirely as an entire window seems to flutter of its own accord, swooping across the room.
And not very strong creatures, I don't think. Challenge rating 1, I think is what
Yeah.
it says.
That's one.
They get multi-attack, wing slice, and radiant wing, blessed wings. They have a lot of actions they can take as that. And then you can think there's a whole swarm of them. So try to stay on the good side of these little critters. It does look like there's people, stained glass pictures of the people on one of its wings with a sun, kind of like for the Morning Lord Lathander.
Oh, that is people. I thought it just looked like a finger that was getting flipped off.
Yeah, I did too.
I knew that's what it wasn't.
Yeah. And so, there's
but
actually
it
the picture.
wasn't
It's a
that.
construct, so it could be made however they want it to be made. I figure we'll stop there. I got some more here, but I realized we're running so late. I should have just done these books separately. I didn't do as good a job of describing them as you did, so it ran a little bit longer. What did you think of these books? Like I said, I haven't got to use this one in play yet, but if it's anything like the other ones I've used, they were probably great. Just reading the creatures alone, like the Siege Engine, I would like to use that. And who knows, maybe the moth or the belligerent possum creature.
I like these books.
I figured you would. D&D books are fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll have links to these in the description for Drive Through RPG if you're interested. Don't have to use those. You can find them anywhere you like. But if you want to help the show and get them still, or test out the free sample ones we have in certain books, that'd be the way to do it. We have links also for all of our other podcasts. We're part of the Gruesome Gaming Group podcast network. We have Horrific History and Hauntings. It's Beth here, tells me about exactly what's the name, Horrific History, Hauntings, or sometimes some true crime stuff. And we have Leveling Duo. It's a podcast where my friend Dakota and I talk about, or Beth sometimes, talk about our favorite video games. But we only talk about those when a new one comes out we really like. So the episodes are here and there. They're hitting just ever so often. If you want to reach out to us, there's a Linktree link in the description. That Linktree will take you to our main website where all of our podcasts can be found, all the newest episodes of each of the podcasts. You can subscribe through there to whatever app you want or get the RSS link. And then I have a bunch of social stuff. You can reach out to us with those. Facebook, well, not Facebook, but Threads, X, and TikTok. I think there's 2 different TikToks, one for Horrific History and Hauntings and one for Gruesome Gaming Group in general. Any way you reach out to somebody, if you want to speak to any one of us individually, that'd be the way to do it. Don't matter which account you use, we'll all know that it comes through. There's also emails if you want to reach out that way, and there's a link if you want to send a donation or a tip our way. I appreciate it. It helps with the hosting fees. And again, thank you for listening. I've been Ramey,
And I'm Beth.
and this has been Brother Knows Quest. Bye-bye.